Welcome to the Carolina Nexus podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I know this isn't the Tuesday show I promised. We had some technical difficulties, but I'm here. Welcome aboard. I'm going to get everybody in here. We're going to go over a few things for the day. Today is the character profile for... Now, I can't even remember who the character profile is supposed to be for today. I had all this mapped out and everything went away. But we're going to improvise and go on because that's what MacGyver would do. Yes, I'm a MacGyver fan for those of you that don't know. Just give some people some time to come on here. Thank you, viewer, for viewing. One more time, Carolina Nexus podcast coming to you live from a new location. This is the same place I was in last week or for the test runs. I'm also streaming live to Twitch now. Thank you to Dubby Energy Drink for sponsoring the show. That's their symbol up there in the corner. W.GG to place your order. I have merchandise to reveal. There we go. We're going to do this unboxing. We're going to show you guys what I got from Dubby. Got this cool neon green Dubby cup. And this energy mix. It's called Calio Cream Mango Orange Energy Drink. And on the back of it, it says, Dubby is a powdered energy drink that replaces other inferior caffeine beverages. It contains zero maltodextrin, zero fillers, zero artificial flavors, colors, or dyes, and no proprietary blends. The star of the show is our coffee fruit extract, which helps you focus with no jitters or crash. Do not exceed 2 servings per day. Mix 1 scoop of Dubby with 10 to 16 ounces of water or your beverage of choice. We're going to dive into this real quick, guys, before we jump to the juicy matter. Let's give it up for Dubby. Right off the bat, it's flavor sealed, which is cool. Not a lot of places do that, especially when they're mailing it to you, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Welcome, viewers. If you're live and direct in the scene, just pop into the comment section. Let me know you're here. Let me know who you are, who's watching. Sorry, I'm going to have to do this off screen because I'm having to use my blade. I had initially planned on doing a show yesterday, but circumstances outside of my control hindered me from doing it. So here we are today, little impromptu show. I'm going to use my Dubby water bottle here to mix this all up. Now, it says 1 scoop. One scoop. Per 16 ounces of water. This is a 20 ounce, that's 16 ounce water. How you doing, Miss Baloo? Thank you for joining me. I'm getting ready to go through the rest of my affiliates in just a moment after I do this for Dubby. Are you guys ready for that bad weather we're playing this column for the Carolinas this weekend? All right, here we go, guys. Calio cream, mango, and orange cream water. All right, for my 90s kids, it tastes like those Flintstone push pops that my parents used to buy for me and my sister from Walmart, Ingles, Food Line, wherever. It's what it tastes like. I don't taste any mango. But on to bigger and better things. That's a delicious drink. I think it'd be even better ice cold, maybe slushified. I don't know. I'll try that next time. On to bigger and better things. I'm going to post up for Dubby. Where's it at? There it goes. For Dubby. That's their Calio cream, mango orange cream. It's amazing so far. Tastes just like a Flintstones push pop from Walmart or Food Line. I know my 90s kids remember that. TCW has been canceled. You've heard it here from the Carolina Nexus. It's been canceled due to the weather. I'm sure she'll reschedule it, make it happen at another time. But Miss Ballou, she's putting the safety of her fans and her talent ahead of profit. Goes to show you exactly kind of businesswoman she is. Now, I will hide this. Let's go back to graphics. Moving on, Miss Ballou, give me just a second. I'll address any further comments you put on here. Let's go down my list of affiliates. First off, the Carolina Nexus wouldn't be possible without these books that I wrote. The combined universe is called the Carolina Nexus, which is where the podcast gets its name. Miss Ballou absolutely agrees with what I said about her putting the safety and well-being of her fans and talent ahead of profit. That's why we love her. And then, of course, I have Bliss Day Salon and Spa. Go talk to Susan for all your self-care needs. Her and her team will take care of you. I guarantee it. Gamers Dream Haven. It's an online retro video game store ran by my friend Trey Smith. He's Michael Smith on Facebook. I can't call him Michael. I've always called him Trey. Trey will help you with any of your retro video gaming needs. If he doesn't have it in his inventory, he can help you find it. Talk to Cynthia for her clean team. They will come out. They'll clean your house. They'll clean your car. There's the number on the screen for her pricing and all that good jazz. Cynthia is a very good friend of mine. I've known her since 2003. Her and her family have been a big part of my life since then, and she's just simply amazing. You won't be disappointed. The Lady Hawks youth softball team, they're eyeing that championship with intensity of a Hawk. Support these girls and everything they do. This youth softball team, their coaches, they've worked hard to get where they're at, and I'm proud of them. Thank you guys for sponsoring Carolina Nexus. Garden of Eden Photography. Eden Jamerson, a very close friend of mine. She will do anything to please the customer within reason. And I swear, when she did Amber's maternity shoot, she was doing more poses behind the camera than we were in front of the camera to get the perfect lighting, the perfect angle. Check out Eden on Facebook. If you want her personal contact information, contact me privately. I'll help you out with that. She's really great at what she does. You will not be disappointed there either. Eye Catching Customs, my boy Cody Bowen does custom merchandise. I personally own one of his jackets he made. It was the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon with the wings. Great material, great craftsmanship. My wife loved it because it was small, so she was able to wear it. I couldn't wear it because I'm obviously way bigger than a small. So my wife loves it. Great workmanship, great craftsmanship, and Cody will do it for you at an affordable rate. If he can't do it, he will learn how to do it. That's what I love about Cody. He's ambitious. I got a new logo for Carolina for Diverse Tax Solutions. This is Diverse Tax Solutions. Call my boy Chinez. He'll do your taxes. And I know tax time is a very stressful time of year, and if you're like me, when you get stressed out, you like to eat. So also check out Little Daddy's Barbecue and Mo. You cannot go wrong with this man's food. I guarantee it. Spencer Co. Books, Coffee, and Gifts in Gaffney, South Carolina. They are hands down one of my biggest supporters as an author. They've opened their doors to me graciously last April for a book signing event that Amazon screwed up for me. Scott Larson, what's going on, producer? Scott Larson, I'm getting to you in just a second. But overall, it was by the numbers, it was very successful. But personally, I think it could have been better if Amazon hadn't screwed it up. And this is why I said I'm getting you later, Scott Larson. Hashtag truth, the sister show of Carolina Nexus. Scott Larson being my producer. When he's able to get back in front of the camera again, guys, check him out. You will not be disappointed with anything this man says. He gives you something to invest in. And that's why Carolina Nexus is worth investing in. And Scott, you can have my autograph anytime, buddy. Styling Jane's Boutique online. It's my sister Brenda's merchandise store. She makes custom merchandise. Go check her out. And then we have The Elaine Project by my very best friend Jerry Pera. Great book from beginning to end. It had me hooked. I couldn't put it down. I got in trouble at work for reading it on the clock, but it was worth it. I highly recommend checking this out. It's on Amazon. It's on Kindle. Go check it out. You won't be disappointed there. And then, excuse me, if you are following any of the shenanigans that's going on with P. Diddy, or you just want to hear somebody say something you're afraid to say, my boy Greg Roper at the hashtag I'm going to say it, he going to say it. All you got to do is hit him up in the inbox. He's been covering a multitude of different things going on in the world today. Most recently, the P. Diddy thing. Go check him out. And then, of course, tonight, live on Facebook, if you don't have any plans at 7:30, tune in. Or no, it's not live on Facebook. It's live on Twitch. Tune in to Wednesday Night Wreckage from OCWA. You won't be disappointed. It's entertainment. Join the live chat. Talk crap. Very family-oriented. This show will steal your spot as your favorite Wednesday night thing to do. All right, guys. So we're here to talk about my books. I had a whole thing planned, but I lost those plans. So we're just going to wing it today. I think we were supposed to go over Rick Juergens as a character. And Rick Juergens as a character only physically appears in the prequel, but he's mentioned in Hometown Justice, Homecoming twice. He's Allison's father, and he's a voice of reason for Alex Ruler's father when they are growing up. So it makes sense that his daughter becomes Alex's voice of reason as he's growing up. But I do plan on there being more scenes with Rick in the future. And was also going to go over another character today. But first, we're going to dive into some of the things about Rick and his family. There we go. So, with Rick Juergens, you first meet him in the Tygapagon Enter the Tiger in like chapter 3. He plays an integral part to the story of the Tygapagon series, which is the prequel series. It explains the friendships between the main cast, Alex and Allison's love relationship, and all that good stuff. It's origins, basically, is what the Tygapagon series is. It's an origin story for my characters. And Rick is there. You see he's the voice of reason for Mr. Ruler. You see he's the voice of reason for their friend group. And then you get to see a side of Mr. Juergens you don't really get to see closer to the end of Tagapagon. I'm not telling you why, because that'll reveal plot points I don't want to reveal. I want you to read it for yourself. But you get to see a side of him where he's angry, he's upset, he's no longer the voice of reason, he's acting brash and uncontrollable. And I didn't really, when I was writing the character, I didn't really have a full basis for him. So he's not really based on anybody I know. Rick Jurgens is based off of a combination of Jesse Katsopoulos from Full House and Fuller House, and I can't remember the character's name now, or the actor. I can see him, but I can't place him. What's going on, Pan? How you doing? Welcome to the Carolina Nexus. But he's a combination of Jesse Katsopoulos from Full House, Fuller House, and Frank from Step by Step. That's two characters I merged together to make Rick Jurgens. And he elicits that cool, calm, collected vibe that Uncle Jesse gives, but he's got the hot-headed streak of Frank from Step by Step. Pan, if you have any questions about my books, any characters in the books, absolutely. Absolutely. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will answer them to the best of my abilities. That's really good. This is the link where you can go check out my books, or simplest way I can tell you to do it, go on Amazon. In the search bar, type my name, Charles Cloninger, and it'll come up for you. And when it comes up, it'll have all the books I published on there, including my digital only book, Spartan Blood and Sand, which is not a book I talk about because it failed. It did not get greenlit for the sequel that I had partially written, but it's on there. I can't take it down until 2029. But it's on there. Check it out. For anybody wanting to enter the contest, I've changed the rules. This contest is now $1 an entry. Each person can have 10 entries. I will do the drawing on the last show of this month to determine who gets signed autographed copies of all 3 books from the Hometown Justice first arc, Hometown Justice Homecoming, Rebellion, and Aftermath. I'll either hand deliver them to you if you're local, or if you're not local, I will work out arrangements to get them mailed to you. So all right, Scott, I'm going to answer this question for you. There is a character based on you in my books, but it's based on Scott Larson, not the Brain. And for those of you that don't know, the Brain is Scott Larson's alter ego. But actually, Scott, he's not coming into the Hometown Justice series. He's going to be in the Casey Elkins series, which we haven't got to talk about a whole lot on Carolina Nexus, but we're going to talk about it as soon as I get through the Hometown Justice. And I got to wait on Caitlin because she likes the Casey Elkins series better than she does Hometown Justice. So as soon as I get Caitlin's schedule figured out, we can work around this, and she's able to co-host with me. We're going to discuss those books. But great question, Scott. That's why I like when you interview me, you ask those hard hitting questions, and I appreciate the love. What do you want to know? That's what the whole podcast is about, Pan. If I haven't given you a great description of what the books are about, talk to me. I can help it. I can ask me questions. I can give you the answers. But before you start asking questions, Miss Ballou, you're thinking about Rick Jurgens. That's the character we started out talking about today. But Pam, before you start asking questions, I have a little something for you. Let me find the graphic. You probably can't read it on screen, so I will go again and read it. This is something that somebody wrote a review about me on, and it gives a perfect summary of my books. Let me see if I can find this for you. Of course I can't. Hold on. So, since you can't read it very well, I will read it for you. In Hometown Justice Homecoming, author Charles Cloninger delivers a tense and action-driven crime novel that explores what happens when the place you call home is no longer what you left behind. First published in paperback on June 28th, 2022. Whoever wrote this got that date wrong. It was June 28th, 2020. The book opens the Hometown Justice series with a powerful story of loyalty, survival, and the moral reckoning that follows a soldier back to civilian life. The novel follows Alexander Alex Ruler, a recently discharged Marine whose plans are simple and deeply personal. After 11 years away, Alex intends to return home, reconnect with old friends, resume his martial arts training, and live quietly on his family farm. He's ready for peace after years of discipline, danger, and sacrifice, but the hometown he remembers no longer exists. In Alex's absence, his once familiar community has become a battleground, caught in the crossfire of a violent drug war between two rival factions. Criminal influence has replaced small town order, and fear has taken root where trust once lived. As Alex is drawn back to the lives of people he thought he understood, he quickly realizes that staying neutral may no longer be an option. Cloninger crafts a protagonist shaped by military service but unprepared for the complexity of fighting battles without clear rules or command structure. Alex's training gives him skills, but his sense of justice and loyalty are tested as he confronts corruption, violence, and the consequences of walking away or stepping in. Each choice threatens not only his future, but the fragile balance of a town already on edge. Hometown Justice Homecoming blends elements of crime fiction, military realism, and small town drama to create a grounded, character driven thriller. The story examines the emotional toll of returning home after a long absence, especially when the values you fought to protect seem to have eroded. Cloninger's pacing keeps the tension high while allowing space for reflection on identity, responsibility, and the meaning of justice outside the battlefield. Ultimately, Charles Cloninger's Hometown Justice Homecoming asks a difficult question. When your home is under siege, how far are you willing to go to protect it? And what are you willing to become in the process? The book is available. Secure your copy here, and it gives a link. For review copies, interview requests, or additional information, please contact me, and it gives my email address. So, Scott, you're asking for a copy of that summary or a copy of the review that I just read? There's a character based on you in it, Pan. That's all you need to know. And Jack Morgan. I will definitely send you a copy of it, Scott. It'll have to wait till I get home because I don't have it on my phone anymore. I got it on another phone. When I get home, I'll send it to you. I will tell you this much, Scott. When your character comes in to Casey Elkins, um, he comes in as almost a villain to begin with. Well, that's another thing. I didn't base it in Gastonia or Cherville or any of those towns. When Hometown Justice was written, I wrote it based on Pokeful. Um, and that's because I knew Pokeful. I took some creative liberties with it, but I knew Pokeful. Uh, yes and no. They're a reflection of some of the small towns I've lived in, mainly Blacksburg and Pokeful. And the corruption that's presented in them, I've not faced in my hometowns, but I'm sure some of it exists there. But it's a reflection of what could have happened if people hadn't taken the stands they've taken to prevent it. If that makes sense. If not, I'll try to figure out another way to word it. Good morning, KC Luchador. Thank you for joining us today. But back to this question. The only corruption that I've faced in said hometowns or small towns, after Hometown Justice Homecoming was released, I was approached by the mayor of Pokeful, who demanded I take the front cover off of my book because it was copyrighted photo, but it was a photo I took of my personal cell phone. We stopped in Pokeful at the post office, and I walked across the street, got it at that perfect angle, took the picture on my phone. My wife didn't like it. She said it was too shaky, so she went back, took it herself, and that's the picture we used. It was taken with our personal devices, but this woman swore up and down we took it off of the Wikipedia page for Pokeful. She demanded I take it down. She didn't like the fact that the books were painting Pokeful in a bad light, yada yada yada. And I'm like, it's a work of fiction. It doesn't paint Pokeful in a bad light. I don't use anybody's name. I don't do anybody's name for the real town because I don't know who the mayor is. I didn't know who the mayor was until she approached me online. She got my email address and emailed me. And but she kept on about telling me to back down. And anyways, last thing about that is I had to contact the entertainment lawyer. He told me that there was no law broken, and if she continued to harass me, we'd take it up in court. Absolutely, Scott. Casey Elkins does that. I got to get you a copy of those books, of the Casey Elkins books, and let you dive into that. I know we've talked about it a little bit on hashtag truth, but here, as soon as Caitlin's able to come on, we'll dive more into it. She investigates the supernatural. So she's dealing with vampires and lichens and demons and magic and all that good stuff. Um, you'll definitely have to check it out. Okay, okay. I like that, Pan. Scott and I are actually talking about doing a low budget production company, and if he goes forward with that, I'm gonna give him the filming rights to Hometown Justice because I trust Scott. I trust Scott's creativity. Well, it's not like Supernatural, the TV show. It's more her world. The Casey Elkins world introduces vampires, lichens, demons, magic, and all that to the Hometown Justice Carolina Nexus universe. And she, Casey, is a special agent tasked with upholding the laws of supernatural. So she investigates supernatural crimes. The first book, she's trying to stop a power hungry lichen from turning the world into lichens. Second book, she's investigating murders around Gaffney that are supernatural in their entirety. Um, the second book, up until the second book, vampires were thought to be extinct. But then you learn in the second book they're not extinct. That sort of thing. So Casey Elkins, her inspiration was Laurel K. Hamilton's Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series. So I draw a lot of inspiration from that. There are some key differences. She Casey was not known as a executioner of vampires. Um, we tried to steer clear of that background for her. She's just a special agent. But she's, and the reason it ties in so well is because the agency Casey works for thinks that people like the main three of Hometown Justice, Rye users, are supernatural beings. And you'll explain that explains that goes forward as Hometown Justice and Casey Elkins go forward. Try not to give away too many plot points. Sounds like a plan. But be warned, Destiny, Scott's daughter, I'm giving her full creative control over camera angles and stuff because she's learning about that. And she's going to be the expert. You ain't got to apologize, Scott. That's cool. This is a good question, too. And it's been asked on hashtag truth, and I will answer it again here. I don't mind whenever I can. I used to try and schedule it, and that didn't work out very well. But like, I use the voice recording thing on my phone. My wife hates it. We'll be going down the road, and an idea hit me. Grab my phone, hit voice recorder, record what I got to say of the idea that hits me, and then as soon as I get home, transfer it into words. Um, and then lunch breaks at work. I'm constantly writing on my lunch breaks. I take 5 minutes to eat. The rest of the time, I'm using to write my books. It's what the world. It's not. Um, it's not uncommon for them to catch me writing and ask me, "What are you doing? Shouldn't you be eating? Shouldn't you be resting?" No, I'm writing. I'm sorry. Sounds good, Pan. Sounds good. See, I thought you meant you were working on a video about the books. You were filming your version of the books. But if you're going to do video reviews, I'll definitely get with you about talking to you about that. Yes. The whole premise of my series came from the Buford Pusser story. I've explained that in previous episodes. Buford Pusser was a very big inspiration for Hometown Justice. As a major fan of his work, of the movies about his life, and even the Rock's remake and Kevin Sorbo's remakes of The Walking Tall. I love all those types of things. That's where I drew the inspiration was Buford Pusser. Um, it started as a high school thing for a creative writing class. I ripped my characters out. I ripped the Buford Pusser characters out, put my characters in, twisted some knobs here, flipped switches over there, changed the whole thing around, and made it my own. And that's the biggest inspiration. Um, some of the characters are based on real life people that I know. Uh, some of the characters are based off people I don't know. Some of the characters are inspired by traits I wish people in my life had. Some people are inspired by people that have these traits. I know I won't say her name, but someone made it clear that she thought I made a character in my book based on her just to do horrible things to her. And while I'm a petty person, I'm not that petty. I would not waste my time and energy creating a character based off somebody I dislike to um, do horrible things to a character based on her. And it that struck me as odd, and I made a whole announcement last episode about it. Mind you, some of the bullies in my life have characters based on them in my books. I just changed the name a bit. At least you watched it though, and that's what matters. The view, whether you're there interacting live, didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was the view for Scott, and the fact that every time I've been on hashtag Truth, my sales have went up. So as soon as Scott's ready to get back in front of the camera, me and Scott gonna have another hashtag Truth episode. From my life occurrences, yes, there's been several scenes that are based off my real life, and then of course there's the prequel of Tygapagon. That whole scenario between Alex and his bully, and that one is me, my life. And if you haven't read Tygapagon, I highly recommend you check that out. It doesn't give you, it doesn't help the Hometown Justice series any at all. It doesn't push that plot along, but it sets up future plot points, and it helps you understand Alex, Ken, and Ty's friendship. Listening, watching, potato, the thought counted. Okay. The thought counted. Consider it payback for all the times you did it to me on hashtag Truth when I was just a fan, answering in the or asking questions in the comment section. And that's just the thing, guys. Scott, as the producer of this show, He's one of my biggest supporters, one of my closest friends. I love him like a brother. So, Scott, you're going to get picked on the most, but it's okay. Just know I love you. When Scott first started hashtag truth, I was his biggest supporter. Every episode, I was watching it either live as it was happening or immediately after. There were times that Riley, my youngest, or my now second youngest son, would be like, "Daddy, is that show gonna be on that had Big Country?" Because he was Big Country's biggest little fan, and he knew Scott had Big Country on pretty regularly. Now that I got my own podcast, Riley's wanting to know, when you gonna have Big Country on? Big Country's in your books, Daddy. You got to have Big Country on your show. So I'm working that out. Big Country, if you're watching, your people need to get in touch with my people so we can get you on the show, at least just for Riley's sake. This is a loaded question, Pan. Initially, it was going to be one book, one and done. Hometown Justice, done. Met with the editor. Editor said, "You got a lot of material here. Let's break it down to 3 books." Did that. Hometown Justice Homecoming, Hometown Justice Rebellion, Hometown Justice Aftermath. Showed him the material. You got a lot of material still. Let's break it down into 3 more each. So each book became a separate trilogy. So there was Hometown Justice Homecoming, Rebellion Aftermath, and then 6 unnamed books for Hometown Justice. 9 books total was all I had planned initially. Then Amazon asked me to do a digital-only book as part of my contract with them. I did that. It didn't do very well, so that series was canceled. My editor was going behind my back. I didn't know he was doing this, didn't think it was a thing for books, but he was taking my books to a test group before he got back to me about it. And when Aftermath was going to be released, he said, "There's a new character you introduced in this book." The test group is really attracted to her. Could you possibly give her own series? So Aftermath acted as a backdoor pilot, if you're talking in TV sense, a backdoor pilot to the Casey Elkins series. And so that's how Casey Elkins got her own book series. Is she was a very popular character with test groups. Initially, she was supposed to be one and done, never heard from again. But the test groups loved her, so she got her own book series. There's going to be crossovers. I do not have a set number of books I'm going to write for Casey Elkins. But Hometown Justice is locked in at 9 unless I get inspiration to add more. There are a lot of times he shows the pride, but more often than not, he shows my stubbornness and hard-headedness. And that's why it's the character is so true to me. A lot of people are like, "Well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that." For the character to be based off me, I don't have to do everything the character does. In terms of nerd culture, I don't have to have all that character's feats for the character to be based on me. But he does 100% show my brashness, my hard-headedness, and my stubbornness. As a matter of fact, my parents who were the first readers of the book after it was published, not after it's published, when I got the author copies, the ones that say not for resale on them, those were just for editing purposes, for me to go back through and edit. My mom and my dad both grabbed one each because I got 5. And I planned on distributing them to people that were going to read it and edit it for me. No, my mom and dad grabbed one each and read the book. And the first thing out of my mom's mouth was, "You're Alex." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I am, Mom. That's the name you gave me at birth." She goes, "No, in your book, you're Alex. I can't figure out who Ty and Ken are, but you're Alex." "What makes you say that, Mom?" "Because he acts just like you, stubborn and hard-headed." Sorry, I've been up since 4 a.m. unloading a truck, and that cold air just dries out my throat. Just another reminder, guys, if you want to take part in the contest to get all 3 books, $1 entry per person. Each person can have 10 entries. So if you want all 10 entries bought at once, you get 10 entries for $10, and that's your maximum. There's no maximum number of people that can enter, just a maximum number of entries you can have per person. And then what will happen is I'll come live. I'll put the spinning wheel up with everybody's name, and each person who does, let's say, Pan sends me $10 today. Then Pan's name will be on that spinning wheel $10 or 10 times. Scott sends me $10. Scott's name will be on there 10 times. Miss Ballou sends me $10. Her name will be on there 10 times. That'll be 30 names on the spinning wheel, and I'll let the spinning wheel decide who gets 3 copies of my book. But not everybody has to do 10. You can do just 2. You can do 3. You can do 1. That was just an example of how this is going to work. But I thank you, Scott, for your support. And I know you need a huge break. I'm saying when you get back in front of that microphone and you do hashtag truth a few times, I'm coming on. Once again, guys, this is where you can find my books at Amazon, or as I tell everybody else, open your Amazon app. In your search bar, type Charles Cloninger. All 7 of my books will show up, including the digital-only book, Spartan, Blood and Sand. Check them all out. And even now, the way my things work with Amazon, if Spartan, Blood and Sand just suddenly overnight gets renewed interest, I can write the sequel. I just don't advertise a lot because I didn't really have as much fun writing Spartan because it was a prompt that was given to me. I don't really like writing prompts. I like having fun and taking my characters and doing things my way, not following a prompt with rules. But if it sees the overnight insurgence of interest, I will write the second book, no questions asked. And I've gone on record stating that Tagapagon was the most fun I've had writing, and it was because I had a time period to work with in my characters' lives. They were weaker than they are in the main storyline because they're younger, and I just had so much fun writing about Hopeful before the drug war. That was possibly the most fun. And while I'm thinking about it, if you're going to order Hometown Justice, Homecoming, this is the cover until I can get the switch over to the cover that Scott made for me, because he did an amazing job on it. This is the cover right now. If you buy the Kindle edition, this is for some reason. It wouldn't put the same cover on Kindle. I don't know why. No, Scott. Let's pump the. And I know the saying is if you're not first, you're last, but if you're not last, you're first. That's the way I look at it. Let you do a bunch of stuff your way if you want to. I can wait. Because again, I give full producer credits here. You help me with everything to get set up. You encourage this. You inspired this. You're my rock when it comes to podcasting, and I appreciate everything you do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. The way you're there and beyond for your friends and your family. Mad love, Scott. Mad love. All right, guys. So we're gonna move on to the next character I was going to do today. It was Vince Raymond, and there's a story behind Raymond. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can invest him to come in here. Come on, people. Work with me, Facebook. If this will work, I doubt it will. All right, so I've invited him in. I doubt he'll come on the show, but he at least better be watching. I just tagged him on Facebook. For those of you that don't know, 1998, I moved in front of my grandparents in Pokeful, my grandfather in Pokeful. And this weird kid moved next door. That's the weird kid's name right there on the screen. I tagged him. This weird kid moved next door or lived next door. Anyway, he lived there before we did, but he was our next door neighbor. And has been a hog farmer my entire life. God rest his soul. But my dad had chickens. Hang on, here he goes. Welcome aboard, bro. What's going on?
Up?
You're live on the Carolina Nexus podcast.
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. And he left. Okay. Cool. But anyways, back to the story, because he's gonna be in and out for a minute trying to figure out his technology inclined. Welcome aboard again.
Kick me out. Yeah, it kicked me out.
I'm telling everybody about how our friendship started because it's the justice.
Yes, sir.
So welcome to the show.
Well, appreciate it.
He lived next door, and my dad had chickens. I'm on my way to feed the chickens. He sees me walking to feed these chickens, and he goes, "Where you going?" "Going to feed the guy." Mind if I tag along? And it's been a friendship ever since.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it went.
So, anyways, the character of Vince Raymond is based off of this fool. He's been my best friend since, like I said, 98, and we used to have some adventures in the back. We both, Alex Ruler was a character we created. I created for that. Vince Raymond was his character. I tried to put them together in the same series. He started out as a villain in my life. So Vince Raymond's the villain in the story to begin with. How's trucking life treating you?
Short-lived. We're trucking. headed to Gray Court, South Carolina, to hopefully finish the day off.
That sounds like fun.
I gotta get home and get ready for. My wife tells you I lost what?
The Hometown Justice book.
I didn't lose it. It just got misplaced. As in, I don't know where it's at.
Typical ramen.
Yeah, I ain't much of a reader. But I gotta get home and get ready for Snowmageddon.
How about you just load the snow up on the back of your truck and take it?
How about I don't know that I'm gonna be able to get out of my house if they talking about we getting what they talking about we getting.
Yeah. That's supposed to be a lot of snow coming down. We ain't seen that many. Three.
Well, see, I don't remember much of '93 because I was still a little squirt. But I do remember.
I don't remember much about it either. There's a home video of me going down to Terse in front of what used to be grandpa's house.
Uh-huh.
Turtle shell burned
Yeah,
at
I
the
don't.
very end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get what they're calling, or if it's gonna be snow or ice or what. But I know whatever it is, it's gonna be a lot of it.
Right, right. Got you on here. Do you have any questions for me about the Hometown Justice series?
No, I just need the other books and probably the a new first book.
Jessica's already asked me for a copy of the first book because she wants to read it, especially since I told her there's stories about you in there.
Mm. Oh yeah. She likes to read more
But
than I do, but I mean, you wrote it, so I'll read it. And I started reading the first one, and then I sat it down, and I don't know, it run away or something. I don't know where it went. Cause I was reading it. I was
maybe
like,
Flay took it his bedroom.
maybe. I mean, I was middle ways through it. I think. Now I don't remember now. Cause you were supposed to
It's
bring
all
me a
right. Well, I
signed
got you.
copy. You didn't give me a signed
I
copy.
did sign your
No, you
copy.
didn't. You just give me a copy and said I'll get you a signed copy when I get some more.
Fool, I
Because I
signed
think
your
you give
copy. You
me.
read it, did you?
You must have signed it somewhere that I couldn't find it.
You are.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
Well, now I've
Sometimes.
got this neat. I have to. I stamp it that shows its authenticity that it's signed by me. So I'll get
Mm.
you. I got book 2 for you anyway. I'll go ahead and get all that together.
Yeah, you need to. We got a bookshelf now. So.
Because I got book 2 as well. So
Okay. But yeah, no. As far as questions on the books, I really don't have any. I'm just ready for all of them, and so I can start reading them.
well,
It
if
might take me
Scott,
a while
if
to
if
get them
things
all
pan
read,
out,
but I'll read them.
if Scott and his daughter and I get together and we do what we're planning on doing, you won't have to read the entire. We'll turn him into a web TV series.
Hey, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
That would be pretty cool.
and like I said, if we get this, if Scott is serious about going through the company, he wants to start up and do videos and low budget stuff like that. I'll give him and Destiny full filming rights.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right, brother. You get back to the truck and take it
yes,
easy.
sir. All right, then. Well,
Stay
you'll have to
safe
kick
out
me
there.
out because I'm driving.
I got you.
All right, we'll see.
See ya. That, my friends, was my best friend slash adopted brother because he spent more time at my house than he did at home. Vinny Ryman, who Vince Raymond is based off of. Key difference between Vince Raymond and Vinny Ryman. Vinny Ryman took a full left in life when he became a truck driver instead of following in the footsteps that he told me since the day I met him he was going to be a mechanic. Raymond is a mechanic. So that's the difference between the two. It's all good and dandy. They follow the same order. Vinny was a villain in my story for a short period of time. Vince Raymond is a villain in Home Justice for a short period of time. Don't want to spoil anything. You, the audience, and Vinny or Vince Raymond earns his spot back as a good guy. I could be wrong. I love it. I'm the author, though. I'm supposed to love somebody. One more time for those of you that were just tuning in. The smiley face up there in the corner. My sponsor, w.gg, to get your own supplies of the internet. Use the coupon code Nexus for 10% off your first order. Go to Amazon down here at the bottom of the screen. Type in Charles Cloninger in the search bar. All of my books will come up. Order them there. If you want to order them in chronological order, this is the chronological order to run in. You start with Tigapon, Enter the Tiger, the first book with the weird-looking thing over there. Then you go to Hometown Justice Homecoming, then Rebellion, then Aftermath. You leave Aftermath and you go straight to The Idol, a Casey Elkins investigation. And then The Daywalker, a Casey Elkins investigation, which let me explain this a little bit more to you. The Daywalker takes place after an unreleased Hometown Justice book. So if you read The Daywalker, you have to go back and read Hometown Justice Hostile, which is book 4 coming out in March, to understand some of the plot points. But don't worry, it's not a major effect of the book. It's just some stuff they're discussing in there that takes place prior to the Daywalker happening. More on that. Y'all see my books. That's what the whole point of the show is to discuss the books. I also take the liberty of advertising for the people who support me. Because supporting somebody, sharing an advertisement, costs me nothing. A little bit of time to put it on my computer, but it costs me. Bliss Day Salon, Suki Airwood, her and her team will take care of all your self-care needs. Gamers Dream Haven, online retro video game store. Trey and his wife Melissa will take care of your needs. Check them out. If you don't have what you're looking for, they help you find it. Cynthia's clean team, they'll come clean your house. They'll do it at an affordable price. She won't leave until you're happy. The Lady Hawks youth softball team, Ashley Gann and her crew, they're taking these ladies to the championships. They're that Hawk, teaching them life lessons on the softball field that they can carry forward, and a great job at it. I'm very proud of these girls. Keep up with the ladies. I'm going to have coaches on the show as soon as I can, as soon as everything lines up. Garden of Eden Photography. You're right. She will not do you wrong. If she'll make you happy. When she did Amber's maternity shoot, she was doing different poses behind the camera, more poses than we were doing in front of the camera. It's for jokes, but it's the truth. Eye-catching customs. Cody Bowen will take you. Again, he did the Daryl Dixon jacket for my wife, and hashtag Truth Podcast. When it re-enters the web, Scott will have you goings on in the world. Daily news. Check him out. You won't be disappointed. Spencer and Co. Books, Coffee, and Gifts in Gaffney, South Carolina. For all your book needs, all your coffee needs, go check them out. The Elaine Project by Jerry Pera. It's a great read. Go read it. I highly recommend this book for the simple fact it's a hook. From the opening page to the last page, it had me hooked. Diverse Solutions. Go check out Chinez. That's him right there in the bottom right-hand corner. Chinez is awesome. And if this stresses you out and makes you hungry like me, check out Lil Daddy's Barbecue Mo. You'll be disappointed. Style and Jane's Boutique. She does your custom merch. Cody. She does stuff that Cody doesn't do, though. She does like cups and mugs and hats and shirts and all that good stuff. Go check her out. And then on Twitch, check out Night Wreckage from OCWA. This is entertainment at its pinnacle. Go check them out. Find out who AJ Frost is defending his championship against. And the tag team title, who's going to be the new OCW Women's Tag Team Championship. Find out who's going to win the Tag Dark Dominion and Moonshine Express. It all goes down the night at 7:30. All right, guys, I think I've been here long enough. Thanks for the interactions. Thanks for the questions. Like, share, subscribe. I'll check you guys out on Thursday.